It's so quiet, it's so comfortable. It's not a GS, it's not an IS, but it's also not the big truck either. It's kind of the perfect in between. We are here in wonderful Costa Rica with Lexus Philippines, and we are testing the new RX 450 Hybrid. Okay, here we are starting up the RX 450 Hybrid, the new one. That's a funky start screen. The start screen is good because you can't tell the car started. You can hear the aircon. There, the engine came on. And in this case, we are in a 450 hybrid prototype, which means it's not fully nailed down yet. There are little differences that we're going to see when it becomes a production model. Lexus has been lately known for making some pretty serious changes in how the cars handle throughout that lifespan. Visually, yes, this is different because you're going to see new lights.
With the 3 stacked LED lights and also new rear LED combination lamps.
You're going to see a new grille.
We're using the more 3D molded grille similar to the LC and the UX. Also, we've revised the rear bumper and the front bumper.
But all the cool stuff is actually underneath, and you will feel it. In this particular case, and this is kind of similar to what they did with the IS, the body is stiffer. This is because they are using adhesives rather than spot welding. They are using what they call the laser screw technology, which has no screws, but basically uses a laser to connect things. When they do that, that allows them to play with the suspension settings and the suspension components, which makes things work a little better. They have tuned the steering and suspension a little bit to make it a little bit more dynamic, I would say. It also has the added benefit of making things more quiet. It improves noise, vibration, and harshness characteristics. This is not something you could do before when you were welding these things together. You couldn't weld points that close together because you would have problems caused by heat. So this is all generally a win-win thing. Now we are going to see if we can get away with going around this curve really fast. But if you look at it, we're not getting a lot of roll. If you do a one quick change, it settles, and whatever you do get, you're not oscillating, you're not bouncing back and forth. You're doing this, you take this curve and you do this, and then suddenly someone comes and you gotta do that. It's not, it tracks. We compared it to the last year's 2019 car, and there is a difference. This car handles better, and you're gonna see that difference when you're doing things like making sudden lane changes, or if you're going around a curve and you suddenly have to avoid something, and it's stable. It's not a light car, so you do feel there's weight, but it's a good premium luxury crossover SUV that has these abilities. It's not a GS, it's not an IS, but it's also not the big truck either. It's kind of the perfect in between. And it's even more perfect now because it's got 3 rows. This is something that a lot of markets, including our own in the Philippines, has always wanted. If you look at it now, there's actually a huge amount of space as expected. If you want the seats up, it's basically hold them down, which is a safety feature. They move back, they move up a little bit if you can see that, and there you go. Now, because it is longer, which is why it has the L, you actually have a fair amount of space here. You're not kind of squeezed in. You've got room for luggage, which is great, or in my case, for the dogs. It's just kind of the best of all the worlds, which is what Lexus wanted to do. They have this yet philosophy, which is we want to improve handling, yet we want to improve comfort. They want to improve comfort, but they want to improve sportiness. They want to improve efficiency, but they want to improve power. These things generally don't go together, but now because of everything from modern technology for production to modern computing power, that all works. This is a great example of that. This is supporting your lifestyle. It's not demanding it of you. It's this omotenashi idea, which is basically treating someone like they are your guest in your home. They try to predict what you want, anticipate your needs. It's very intuitive, and it's just a pleasant drive. We really, really like the hybrids, and their hybrid systems are awesome. They're pleasant, but they're not docile. They're not underpowered. There's as much power as you would want, and you can always spec it up if you do. So we like it. I'd call it a non-issue hybrid because you don't feel it.
It's like a normal car.
Yeah, well, it's going to be the normal car of the future in every way.